make yourself a panzanella salad. And like I said as well, all credit to Jake N.G. Lopez for this recipe, essentially, because it's not mine. All about the sog with this. And the chopping board's slicing all over the place, which is nice and safe. But you know, copying is the best form of flattery. I completely muddled that statement, that sentence, but you know what I mean. I don't know if I'm going to do a second intro for this, but just in case, I'm going to do a second intro for this. It's big bad boy, Côte de Boeuf, tomahawk, ribeye, bone-in ribeye, whatever you want to call it. The other video, which I'll put a link to up here when it goes up, probably going to be part one. I'm going to do this on the barbecue, sear it off hot. I'm going to do some grilled veg for that as well. That's in the other video here. To go with this, I'm going to do a panzanella salad, which is a absolutely beautiful summer salad, which comprises of tomatoes and bread, the main ingredients, with like a vinaigrette sort of dressing. A few other bits and pieces go in there, but that's basically all you need. A bit of basil. Now, traditionally, this would be done with ciabatta. I've got sourdough, which is fine. Any sort of rustic-y sort of bread is fine. Ignore, I've been painting and I can't get the paint on. So sourdough's just fine. Now, you know, tear it up into sort of bite-sized sort of chunks. You want about half as much bread as you got tomatoes. Also, massive shout out to Jake N.G. Lopez Alt, because this is essentially his recipe. I learned how to do this off of him. A lot of recipes called for stale bread. Stale bread, similar to like French toast. You want stale bread so it soaks up all the tomato juice and everything. But dried bread works better. So if you dry the bread off in the oven, you get a much better result. So I've got the bread, drizzle of olive oil. Give that a little bit of a coat, a little bit more olive oil. I've got the oven preheating already to 200 degrees Celsius. We're going to put it in there for about 20 minutes at least. I'm going to check on it after 20 minutes. But so whack this in the oven. Check on that in about 20 minutes time. Next step, I need a colander or a sieve. This is the bowl I'm going to make this in. So I'm going to put a colander in the bowl. I'm going to get some really nice tomatoes, nice as you can get. Now you want these tomatoes to be bite size. So cherry tomatoes cut in half, perfect. Or these are just standard sort of British salad tomatoes. I'm gonna go with maybe 1.5 of these. And then I've got these nice, some orange, some yellow and some red. So I'm gonna use 3 orange, 3 yellow, and 3 red. These, I don't think they are cherry. I think they're called rainbow tomatoes. They're probably just different colour cherry tomatoes. But you know, there are some small tomatoes that aren't cherry tomatoes. So I'm gonna halve these. You need the tomatoes cut in half, even if they are tiny little ones that are a mouthful on their own, because you need the salt to get in to the skin, start breaking it down, which, to be fair, I haven't explained yet. So these are in the colander, because we're going to salt them. We are going to quite liberally salt these. 2 big pinches, that's all, but you give them a little bit of a toss in that salt. So then what that salt's going to do is it's going to draw out all that moisture. That moisture is going to end up in that bowl, and then in that bowl we're going to make the vinaigrette. So you get a nice tomatoey vinaigrette to coat everything. So while that's doing its thing, what we're going to do is prep a few little bits ahead with it. So you get a nice, so this should be a shallot. Couldn't get any decent shallots. They were all kind of manky looking. Again, probably not in season at the moment. I'm trying to do this in season, out of season and get a red onion instead. Peel it quite heavily, so the further to the outside the layer of an onion is, especially with red onions and shallots, the stronger it is. Not stronger, sorry, the tougher it is, not more flavour. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to very finely dice this. Actually, I'm only going to use half an onion. One small shallot would do fine, but these red onion, even as a small red onion, that is still a lot of red onion. So this is going to go in that bowl, just down the side there, not in with the tomatoes. And I am sorry that even my method at the moment is ripping Jake Enzi Lopez all off, because this is exactly how he does it in his video. But you know, copying is the best form of flattery. I completely muddled that statement, that sentence, but you know what I mean. Garlic. We want a decent size clove of garlic. Like I said, I'm only making the smallest portion, so I'm going to use that one. If I was making a big portion, I'd use quite a fat clove of garlic. I'm going to peel that, and I'm going to grate that in there on a microplane, just so we end up with no chunks. Right, and all that's left we're going to do is I'm going to do this now. I'm going to leave it on the board, mostly because the stuff in there will start to break it down. But I'm going to pick some basil. All right, I'm going to pick a decent handful of basil. So this is quite a nice fresh salad as well, nice tomatoey. We're going to roll them all up into a cigar and nice fine slice. Now you can just tear that basil up if you want to chuck it in. This is a super rustic, I believe it's a Tuscan salad, that sort of region. In here you can also, if you want, put a few fillets of anchovy, pound them up, chiffonade them up. That could be quite nice. The only problem with that is you need to, that only really works if you make a big-ish portion. Just put a little bit more salt in there, because then you're adding lots of salt. I'm not making a big enough portion to get away with that. So I'm just going to let those steep. Is the right word? Probably not. There's a few other bits that need to go in there to make the vinaigrette, but we'll do that later when we come back. So 20 minutes time, I'm going to check on the bread, and we're going to check on the tomatoes. And do I want some more tomatoes? I'm actually going to put this other half a tomato in there as well, just because it's there. Draw all that moisture out of the tomatoes. Check on the toast, the bread. So back in probably about 20 minutes, I'm going to go check on the barbecue, which are already lit. But like I said, that's a different video. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right, about 20 minutes later. I don't know if I said what temperature to put the oven on. I had mine on 200, and they toasted off really quite quickly. Got the tomatoes here. I've given them a bit of a toss here and there, a bit of a squeeze. You want to make sure all the moisture's out of them. Put them to one side in the sink, or another bowl will be fine. So make our dressing vinaigrette. We also are going to want to go in there with some decent quality red wine vinegar. Probably about 2 tablespoons of that. And Dijon mustard, we're going to want maybe 2 teaspoons. So much like any other emulsification, you want a bit of mustard. Well, there's other things, but mustard helps make an emulsion. What else we want here? A bit of pepper. And I'm going to go in there with some really good quality extra virgin olive oil. This is Spanish, not Italian. I find Spanish extra virgin olive oil is a bit more fruity, which I quite like. So I'm just going to slowly drizzle that in. Actually, we're going to give this a little precursory mix first. Alright, I'm just going to slowly drizzle that olive oil in and make an emulsification. Right, and there we go. That, as a salad dressing, works really well just as a salad dressing. Probably put about 150 ml of oil in there, maybe. I'm only really making this for 2. You want a decent amount of dressing. This is a wet salad, if that's such a thing. And it's best tossed by hand. Right, so we're going to leave that for 10 minutes, give it another toss, leave it for another 10 minutes, so at least 20 minutes for that dressing to soak into that bread and really start to break it down a bit. You don't really want the bread to stay crunchy. You want a little bit of crunch, but it's mostly sog. All about the sog with this. So I'm just going to leave that, give it another toss in about 20 minutes, in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go off now and carry on cooking the steak. So I'm going to take that out to the jardin and we're going to grill us up the steak. So that's going to be in the other video, link here. And then we're going to, right at the last minute, toss the basil through, serve it up with our steak and our grilled veg. Alright, steak's done, veggie's done, salad, if you look, soaked up all of that juice, all that dressing is now in the bread, and that's just beautiful. So, I'm going to grab this basil, chuck all of that in there, that's ready to be served. So, plates are helpful. I haven't got any salad tongs, so I'm going to use these. I'm going to toss that basil through. And there you go, that is Panzanella Salad. A really hearty lunch salad, and as well as a side salad, because it's got the bread in it, you don't need to worry about plates and stuff, so it's nice and summery, you haven't got to worry about cooking loads of potatoes. So, I'm going to carve that up. That's probably going to be the end of the other video. Put it all together. But, Panzanella salad. It's absolutely beautiful. Like I said, it's even better if you can get the tomatoes in season. At the moment, tomatoes aren't in season. But, bit of bread, some tomatoes, a bit of basil, a few things to make that vinaigrette. Like I said, you can chuck other things in there. I see people put capers and olives in there. You can mush up or finely slice up some anchovies, chuck them through it. What else do I see people put in there? Peppers, like a jar of roasted red peppers. Drain them off, chop them up, chuck them through that as well. It's just a lovely, rustic, chunky salad, but it's a salad that's also like really quite filling. Make yourself a Panzanella salad. And like I said as well, all credit to Jake N.G. Lopez for this recipe, essentially, because it's not mine. Right, like, comment and subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you when I next see you. Have fun, and lots more outside cooking to be expected. Buenas noches.